welcome to another episode of Shooting
the Shit with Rachael
and Neal Young. So we're talking all things real estate photography business growth, mindset, and getting it done. Here come your favorite true entrepreneurs, Rachael and Neal Young, shooting the shit.
I have a ferret on the podcast. Like if we're kind of in a slump, like what kind of things do you do?
Talking about a boob light.
Straddling a power line.
Nice photo.
Ooh, I need that.
I'm like red right now because I'm embarrassed. I go like this. I love it.
Come in.
Sure, use your podcast voice.
You know, over here, I'm pitting out.
Drone's like flipping to the ground.
That's a great callback.
Chit-chatting.
Is that what you call that?
Hey, Rach, what's going on?
Hi, Neal. How are you?
I'm good. I feel like it's been a while just because of the holidays and everything, right?
Yes. Yeah. I know. It's funny. Every time we start the podcast, I'm like, who's going to do the intro? I mean, you always do it, but I'm always sitting there just waiting like, is he going to do it? Am I going to do it?
Is he going to go? What's going to happen?
I know. I feel like my face is always ridiculous. I'm like, okay, here we go. And we're live. Yes, it's fun.
Cool. Yeah. So we are going to chat about a few things today. You know, year coming to an end, looking forward to 2023. We both thought we were just chatting briefly about, you know, just a little wrap up and what we're thinking about for the future, our predictions a little bit for the future, and a little, you know, talking about the fear a little bit that you may have set in for some of you. And Rach has been at this 6 years, so she's got a good perspective on how you might be feeling right now, and you know, have a slightly different perspective than me that's only been doing it a couple of years. So we talk about that, and we're going to talk about what's coming in the future for the podcast as well. So yeah, we're just gonna dive in, right, Rach?
Yes, sounds great. So yeah, winter is definitely slow. Every year that December comes around, I know that the last 2 weeks of December is going to be pretty much no work, like maybe a couple jobs here and there, but I mean, I know, but when it happens, it just like is a shock to the system.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way? It's just like, where did everyone go? Like, what is happening?
And it was, I think, a quicker halt for me this year than last year even. But I felt a little bit better about it so far this year, just because last year I was really like, did I lose all my clients? Is that it? Am I done? You know, where it's like, okay, most of them came back once it got busy again.
Right.
So I feel a little more confident about that. And also I think because part of it, I think, is the market kind of shifted right around that time too. And so I feel like a lot of the agents that I have seen, a few people for the few shoots I've done, that they're all like, kind of like, are you busy? Because they're trying to get a pulse for me. Is that all the agents or just me? You know, so I'm like, okay, it's just slowed down for everybody. So
I know I had a couple agents reach out and they were asking me like, how many shoots do you have booked? What's going on? I'm like, well, we usually get booked about a week in advance, but I have a couple in January. Like, I don't know. Right. But honestly, like next week, we have a few we have more next week than we've had in a while. So I'm excited to get back to kind of that grind of, you know, money coming into your account. You know, I use HD Photo Hub, so it's Stripe. So I always get emails. It's like your Stripe deposit. And I looked today, I'm like, maybe there's money coming, and there's nothing, zero in the payouts. And I'm like, dang it.
You don't even have you don't even have the little money you get from me when I order a new thing from HD Photo. Your referral.
No credit. Come on, Neal. I need those.
What's Neal been doing?
Get to work, man.
I know, but it's literally been like a ghost town for me. I had one shoot the other day that was like a lifestyle shoot that / it was a surprise engagement. And then I've had like this month, probably 2 listings, and Zach had like 1. It's been nothing. So it's been crazy, but you know, I do see the stuff for January, a few things getting booked. So that's good.
Good. Yeah. I had one, our team had one today that they shot, and then the agent called and she's like, oh, I have a lot that needs shot too. So there's another little one that happened, which is good. And then tomorrow I was supposed to have 3 full work shoots, and the broker called today and he's like, 2 of them aren't ready. They'll be next week. I'm like, okay. So now I just have 1 tomorrow, which is good, because going from like not working at all to then doing 3 full work shoots in one day. I mean, it was going to be from like 9 to 5 or 9 to 4 when it gets dark. I was like stressing.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to be shooting quick.
Oh, and
actually I had one of my guys coming out to do the Matterport so I could just get it done. Cause I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get all this done. So anyways, it'll be.
Yeah. When it's so few like that, then I have the one job here and there. Like I had 1 listing and I had to do video for it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do I even have everything I need in my bag right
I
now?
know.
Like I'm so like because I've been futzing around with stuff just because it's slow, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, are my batteries charged? I didn't even think about this. Like, what am I even doing? You know what I mean?
Right. Oh,
So
yeah. I actually
yeah.
had a guy reach out. He wanted me to do kind of like Airbnb photos for him. And
Hmm.
I've changed my pricing on that and I've really raised the prices quite a bit because it's like what I'm giving a lot of photos and it adds a lot of value. It's so I jacked up my prices a little and I'm not budging on my pricing this year. Like my prices are what they are. And if you don't want it, then sorry, go somewhere else. But I'm
Yeah.
not going to lower my prices for people anymore and like give those discounts because I've done that in the past and then I regret it. I think
Ah,
we've talked about that on the podcast, how like the ones that you lower the price on, there's always something that goes wrong
yeah.
and then
That's
you
always
regret
the
it.
one. That's the one
Yeah.
you're just like, why did I do this? Yeah, yeah, I totally agree on that. Yeah, and that's one thing I really got to get to work on in these next few days that it's going to be slow is I got to work on increasing a couple of prices a little bit here and there that where I think it makes sense without total shock because I've never raised my prices before, but um, it should come up a little bit. I feel like, especially on a couple things like my drone.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I literally had somebody say the other day, I won't name names or anything, but the agent literally was like, "Yeah, I booked you," and my wife was like, they're both agents, and he's like, "Why are we using him? He's the most expensive one that we've ever used. Why?" And he's like, "Well, because we know he's going to do a good job, and it's always good." And she's like, fine.
Fine.
Like, but I'm like, geez, he told me this too.
That's
But I
so
mean,
great.
I
You're
know
like,
it's
thank you.
hilarious. He's like Neal's the best, so we're using Neal. Like, and she
Yeah.
was like, oh, whatever, okay. It's funny, but
Which just goes to prove that if you provide a good service, like people care more about the service they're getting, right? Then, I mean, the product's important, obviously, but like anyone, pretty much anyone can do this job. But it's the people that provide that good customer service, go the
that's right,
extra mile. Just like Ashley said on the Realtor episode we did, the last one, she was like, he gets the creative shots, he goes the extra mile. Like that really goes far with people. So, yeah,
right.
I feel like
And
know
she knows I
where you
stand
can add
by.
value.
She knows I stand by the work. Was the other thing she said was like,
Mhm.
if something isn't right, like Neal's gonna make it right, and that could be in the shooting, in the editing, whatever. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
I'll make sure it's right. So they know they can rely on me for that too. So, but yeah, it makes a big difference. And I was just we had chat about this quickly before. I couldn't remember what the video was, but talking we came to, oh, it was that video. But I heard somebody say something to that point in the video. Nathan Cool, who does some cool YouTube stuff if you want to watch technical. He's pretty technical, but he does a great job with like how to lighting and stuff like that. But he was chatting about some of the changes coming and Zillow and some of the fears about what Zillow might be doing and stuff like this. But one of the things he had mentioned was customer support being some kind of poll. You check out his video about predictions for the coming year, but about how people are valuing the customer support. They are finding that more important than the price, which I thought was an interesting point that a lot more people are looking for that. So, especially when, like you said, a lot of people can learn how to be real estate photographers. So how are you going to separate yourself? So good customer support is probably number one.
Yeah,
So
that's a good place to start for sure.
yeah.
Shizzle my nizzle.
But yeah. Oh, shout.
Oh, shizzle.
But yeah, so I wanted to ask you this about though, but that transition right into
Mhm.
winter. You've been doing this 6 going on 7 years now, right? Was this year more dramatic, pretty normal? Just so people have a pulse on it. Well, how did you feel? Was this
I think it was normal. We actually surpassed our numbers from last year. So we're doing better than we did
mm,
last year in December, which is good. I was shocked because it feels really slow. Um,
right?
but yeah, and that's just the real estate. That's not the portraits that I've been doing or any of like the lifestyle stuff.
Mm,
So um, I
yep,
didn't look at those numbers. I just look at HD Photo Hub and it gives you like a little tick of how you did last year, and shows
mm,
on the little timeline of you can set a goal in there of how much you want to make for the month. And then it shows you your progress of making it to that goal. And then it gives you a little marker of what you did last year. So you know when you beat your numbers from last year. So I'm just going off that.
yep,
Um, anyways, yeah, for me, it's like I know it's coming. I save all year for my taxes. Try to save all year for winter. So I have a little bit of a buffer if I need to pull 5 grand to make my month. It's fine. It's not going to break the bank or whatever.
Hmm.
But no, it honestly, like, I struggled with depression in the past, and I've really gotten a handle on it. I've gone to counseling. I've read a ton of self-help books. I do a lot of different practices that help me keep my mindset where it needs to be. I take vitamin D, I work out, like, I do a lot proactive to, like, keep myself mentally healthy. But this year, it really affected me mentally when it was slow. And I'm working on side projects. It's not like I don't have a lot going on. It's just there wasn't money flowing into my account. And I think there was a multitude of things that kind of stacked onto this. So we bought a new house this year.
Right.
That's a big mortgage. Like, I've always in my head been like, we can afford a lot of really nice houses. Like, we could totally buy that house and be fine, but until you actually do it, now I have this commitment. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. That
There
money's
goes.
coming out every month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then we're Airbnb in our old house, which has been paying for itself. So that costs are covered there. Like, it's been doing great. So that's been good. But I think just like between that and then just some added extra, responsibilities that I'm working on with the masterplan.tv thing that we're doing, and filming for that. And then we have the podcast that we're doing now. And there's a lot going on, but for some reason this year, I got into a funk for like 2 or 3 weeks. I was just depressed and angry and not myself. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? So I talked to my husband about it, and we like kind of just worked myself out of it. But yeah, I tie a lot of I think my happiness and my worth to my income and having that money coming in
Yeah.
consistently. Because when it stopped is when
Yeah.
I noticed a big shift in my mood and everything. So something that I think, and it's like that roller coaster of entrepreneurship, right? Like, you go up and down, you're like, woohoo, I just landed a huge gig. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm not working for a week. I'm going to starve. And it's like, I've learned to kind of go with the ebbs and flows of this business, and I know what to expect in December, but sometimes it just gets you,
Yeah. I'm, and that's a good point. We should talk about that. I will talk about my perspective on that too, is that I feel pretty good right now, but I've noticed my temper is much shorter than normal. And that happens to me when I'm stressed. And I don't think I always recognize my level of underlying stress until those moments when I'm like, whoa, I got like upset quick, like talking to the bank on the other day. I was getting Chinese food for like $50 and it didn't go through. It got declined. And I'm there with my daughter, and it's, I'm trying to get food, and like the money stuff, because all the money's just going out of the account, out of the account, out of the account. I don't like that feeling,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I like when the money's coming in, you see that, like you're saying, the little notifications, you got money, but yeah, it's the opposite. And I'm like, how, that's in the back of my mind. Like, I'm like, I'm like on the front, like, it's fine. But underneath there is going, it better not go like this forever. Right. And so I had just done a purchase. I had to get a new backup camera, right? Because my shutter blew on my old A7 III, and I decided to get a different lens because I'm going to do some packages for lifestyle stuff, and I'm sick of swapping lenses all the time. And I got this lens that I think is pretty versatile for that. So I can just work with one. Here it is. This kind of monstrous thing.
Nice.
It's a
Beautiful.
new Tamron lens for Sony, which is I don't know if it's new, but I never heard of it. But it's a 35 to 150.
Nice.
It's
That's a
a
good range.
f2 at like 35 to 40, and then it's a 2.8 the rest of the way. So I really like that I can go, wide, or like events and stuff like that. Pretty versatile for that I only need one lens. I don't have to have my two camera setup that I normally do, and dealing with the two cards after. Anyway, so I'm kind of excited about that, but I'll probably sell a couple other lenses to take a dent out of that. But anyway, that was like, I never knew there was like a 1-day limit on what, even though the money's in the account.
Yeah.
If the money's in the account, if you spend too much at my bank, they shut it down. Like, nope, you can't buy your $50 Chinese food.
Oh, that's so
And I was
annoying.
like, why is it going to decline? I have money in the account. And it's the stress just came to the top, and I'm on the phone with the lady like, you need to release the thing in the middle of the Chinese
It's my
thing.
money.
Yeah, I was like so embarrassed after, like, oh my
God.
and I'm like apologizing to her after. I'm sorry, I got upset. I didn't even know I was at that level of stress at that point until it just came out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Merry Christmas.
Sorry.
Shit. Oh,
Yeah.
what a
Yeah.
jerk. I
Yeah.
felt terrible. But yeah, so there's definitely it's definitely in the background, even though they're like, you're good, don't worry. It'll be fine. It's in a couple weeks when New Year's is over, you're good. You
Yeah.
know?
No, it's stressful. And it's like there's so much to take care of throughout the year. Like for me, it's always like, gosh, I've so much to do, so much to do. I'm always so busy, blah, blah, blah. And then winter comes and it's like I have so much time to get that stuff done. And my motivation level was like zero for like
Mm,
2 or 3 weeks. And I honestly just think I was burnt out. Like I was just needed to take a week off and just sleep or nap or like go play
yeah.
in the yard, like not work. And so I
Yeah, and
took a couple
enjoy the
days.
holidays too a little
Yeah.
bit. Like enjoy your family with this time
Right.
that goes so quick, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I did that. I just like took some time off. I was like, I'm just gonna relax. Like I can't do everything, you know? And I
Yeah,
did. And then I started this little meditation in the morning that I'm listening to every day and got on a new podcast. And I'm journaling again. And it's like, okay, I'm back in my flow. Like I feel good. It's just
good.
I need that positive reinforcement being chirped in my ear all the time. That just
Mm,
kind of like helps remind myself of like, I can do this. I'm worthy. I'm wanted, like all these little words that
yeah,
just kind of keep me going. So,
cool.
yeah, I
Well,
think it's,
I think that's a really cool like kind of intro, if you will, into what we had talked about for a couple upcoming podcasts too, right? You have what's the term? It's what's the name of the person you work with? What's the technical term?
oh, a life coach.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I totally like I have no idea.
We can
What's
cut that
the
out.
life coach? No, you can leave it. It's fine. I just
Okay.
blanked. My brain just went
Bloopers.
What? But
We
yeah,
should have a
life.
bloopers reel for the podcast. That'd be fun.
Oh, we should. We should.
Yeah.
It'll be all Neil going. So what's
Dot,
my
dot,
line anyway?
dot. Whatever. You're great. Anyways, yes, we're going to have a life coach on. And so this whole episode today, we're just kind of BSing, talking about the end of the year and, what we're talking about right now. But we also want to talk about next year. We're going to wrap up for a few weeks, take a few weeks off. We're going to get some podcasts recorded and in the bank so that, we're not stressing and only having one.
Yeah.
And yeah, we would love to hear from you guys on what kind of things you would like to hear about. I've had a couple people reach out via Instagram and have, given me some good ideas. But yeah, we are going to have a life coach on. There's a couple of people that we met or that I met at PMRE that I would like to have on.
Yeah.
So that'd be fun. But anything you guys are interested in, if you guys have questions for us, we'd love to get some ideas from you
Yeah.
guys and what you want to
Totally.
hear.
No, and I think it's been a kind of interesting too, seeing what stuff people were liking the most just based on views for our
Mhm.
podcast thus far. But some of the big ones actually people seemed like the portrait one was people were interested in that the
Mm.
portraits as a side hustle kind of thing. So that was interesting. People were also very interested in the one we did on social media. Also, here, let me look real quick what the top were again, just so I'm forgetting here. So, power of social media, yeah. So that was the most popular so far. Meet Rachael and Neal. Obviously, your first podcast episode is usually pretty popular. If I had to start over today with Jordan Powers was the next most popular. HD Photo Hub was the next most popular, and then the headshots and lifestyle sessions for your realtors uh, was the next most popular. So I thought that was interesting. But I mean, if any of
Mhm.
those categories people thought, or any of those kind of topics people thought, yeah, we like that, and we'd like to hear more, let us know. What do you want to hear more about? That'd be great. We can always chat, come up with a plan, chat some more, or come up with some people to interview about things, whatever makes the most sense. But yeah, and I'm excited to have your life coach come on because I think that would
Yeah.
be a totally different kind of episode. So that'd be really cool.
Yeah, and he's great. He's amazing. So I really enjoyed working with him. I'm doing
Yeah.
photos for him, and I think we're going to trade again. So I'll get a few more sessions.
Oh, good, good, good. Yeah, I mean, and I think it's a really important part of having your own business because you really can be just an island out there. And so I'm
Yeah.
sure it doesn't hurt to hear like, oh, you're about to lose your mind too. Great. I feel better.
going crazy. Please help.
You're crazy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
And
thought that the slow time would be nice and relaxing, and it is,
yeah,
but it also can be the opposite. But yeah.
exactly. Exactly. You can start to just go down this terrible dark spiral of
Right.
negativity.
Don't go down
Don't do
there.
that. Don't do
Do
that.
not do it.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah.
So,
Cool,
anyways,
cool.
all right. Well,
What do you think about next year, Rach? I think people, I'm sure, you being in it longer too, do you think it's going to be with the market changing and stuff like that? Do you think it's going to be pretty standard? You
I
have
think
any
it's going to
insight
be
about that?
fine. I think it's good, honestly. I think this correction is good because it was bonkers. And brokers didn't really need all the services
Mm,
before. They didn't. They just really needed photos. Houses were flying off the market. Yes, a lot of the brokers I work for would do everything because they're smart and they know that that's how you get more listings, and they
right.
invest in their businesses and they see the value in it. But I mean, realistically, they didn't need us. I feel like now that houses are going to sit longer, they're going to
Mhm.
need more media to kind of
Yeah.
advertise that home. So I think it'll be good for us. I think there are definitely, it'll be a little bit slower, but I don't think it's going to be crazy, like
Yeah.
dead. I
Good,
hope.
good. Yeah, I think that's a good point too. No, I hope so too.
I
But
hope.
yeah, I think that's a good point, especially if it does kind of correct and kind of slow down a little bit. Especially the agents that maybe were only had their skin in the game for a year or two, um, and maybe got away with, whatever they could get away with, cell phone pictures or whatever.
Mhm.
They might start to realize that they're going to have to step up their game a little bit to stay on top. They, like you said, most of the established agents that we work with, they already figured that out years ago.
Yeah.
But so they might be new clients coming. And then I
Mhm.
think our episode about offering lifestyle photos and headshots for agents, that also might be popular because they're going to realize, oh, I need content
Mhm.
for my social media, because that's another. I'm sure they're going to see the other agents that are on there doing that, and if they are feeling like they're not, getting all the clients they want, then I'm sure they're going to step it up wherever they can.
Yeah, definitely. And if you can offer just like a little mini session on site, like while you're doing the listing photo, say, hey, you want to pop in a couple photos? You know, I
Yeah,
charge whatever you want to charge for like 5 images or something. Yeah, it's
yeah,
a great little add-on too.
totally,
Definitely.
totally. Cool, cool, cool. That's good. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. So I don't think
Oh,
it's going to come to a screeching halt. I think we're all going to be fine. But it might be a little bit slower. Who knows? We'll see.
yeah,
I'll be
yeah.
happy if we just stay where we were at last year. We actually didn't even come close to my goal, which I was a little disappointed. I had a meeting with
Oh,
my
yeah.
accountant. Yeah, I had a meeting with my accountant this morning and I thought I was like 150 higher than we were. I
Oh,
was like, "Oh." But then when I think about the big picture, I'm like, "Rachel, like you still did great." Like,
right.
really,
I
really.
know. This year I haven't been as focused on it, partly because I split systems halfway through the year, switched
Mm,
from Wave into the HD Photo Hub, and I still haven't I haven't before last year I was month by month just like laser focused. What is it? What is it? And then this year I was just kind of like, you're all right. Just keep
yeah,
going.
yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think I was thinking early in the year that I was going to just blow it out of the water, but I'm sure it was more even keel, and I had more overhead throughout
Mhm.
the year for things I had done for software and is Zach and stuff like this, and
Yeah.
stuff that you think I got another the shooter, but he didn't go out a lot, and there was a lot of you know other expenses for making sure they were set up with in the systems, and yada yada yada, and editors cost me more this year than the previous year, so I think at best I'm probably even from last year. So, but I'm
Yeah.
okay with that because
Yeah.
I felt like this year I didn't murder myself,
That's
whereas
good.
last year I was really on the edge.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's a trade-off too, right?
Mhm.
Maybe you didn't make as much money, or maybe you didn't grow as much as you hoped to, but maybe you survived better.
Yes, I
Like,
had more sanity. That was one thing I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Like one guy on Instagram asked like what, how much money are you making? Like as it when you brought on a team, like did you see a big increase in your income? And I'm like, well,
Mm,
honestly, like when I hired more shooters, I had to hire more support. So I hired a virtual assistant, which was pretty expensive,
mhm.
so there's that added expense. And then my admin, I was paying her more because she was doing more uploading. So there's that. And then I was actually shooting a little bit less because I was trying not to kill
Yeah.
myself.
Right.
So, I mean, I made a little bit more, but not like a drastic amount more than the
Right.
year before. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But this is
And a
what
little
year
transition to
think this was two. 3 years of having a team. And between year 1 and 2, there was a pretty significant jump in income when I added a couple
Mhm.
shooters. When I went from just me to adding multiple shooters, there was a pretty big jump in income. So,
Mm.
but now I'm to the point where
Yeah.
like I'm happy just staying where I'm at. I don't need to make more money. I mean, it would be nice, but I'm fine. I just don't want to work as much. Like I want to have
Yeah.
part-time hours and just shoot,
Well, yeah. When you've done it
4
for
a
six
week or 5 a
years.
week. Yeah, and enjoy it. Like I went out, I had that long break where I really didn't feel like I shot for almost a month. I shot a little bit here and there, but I had almost a full week of no shoots. And then I went out and shot a house, and it was stills, video, and drone. And then we did the agent intro, which was really fun. So I got to
Mm.
kind of direct that. And like we did different shots in different areas of the house and whatever with him talking. And it was really fun. The whole shoot, I was enjoying myself, which is weird because normally I'm like, I go, I do it, I'm done, I go home. Like there isn't a lot of like excitement for me in real estate. Like I've
Oh
been
yeah.
pretty burnt
Oh
out.
well. Just for example, for everybody, Rach and I will call and chat about stuff about the podcast just randomly as we're out like driving to shoots. Or in Rachel's case, she'll be in the middle of a shoot but talking to me at the same time. She's just like, "Yeah, oh no, that's fine. Click, 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 click." I can't do that. Like I can't do that. But yeah, it's you just like you have it so down, like
Yeah.
it's crazy. But yeah,
Yeah.
me, I'd be like, "Hang on a second. Click. Okay, what? No, hold on one more second. Click."
Maybe it's not a good thing. Maybe I should pay more attention to what I'm doing. I don't know.
No, I think you have it just so down that I think that's can take the joy out of it a little bit when you've got it
Mm,
so like down pat, like you could literally walk in there with your eyes closed and do your shots in the kitchen and probably they come out immaculate because
yeah.
you just got it down. You know what I mean? But
Right. Right. So anyways, yeah, I felt excited about it, and I think that was really good.
that's
So I
great.
just think I needed a break, and take
Yeah,
some of that
yeah,
time to just get recharged. So I think shooting less will be good for me, and it'll be good for the business. I can help train the new shooters better. We can get more advanced training going, and yeah, all that stuff.
yeah,
And then I can focus on some other things I'm working on too, which will be good. So
yeah. Oh, and then
yeah,
I guess
that's
that's
really
another
fun.
part of my another part of my stress. I think right now is that I have decided to take on some additional challenges, going on a limb and, no risk for no reward. And a couple of the things are changing that I'm going to try and offer some more services. This is something that's been in the back of my mind for a while. I had this, idea that, when I did the social media stuff last year during the winter, I had this further on idea to eventually have like more of a community with social media for these agents and stuff like this and all this stuff down the road. It's still all down the road, but I'm kind of coming at that same kind of thing with a slightly different angle. And I've actually got a month-to-month little office space that I can do like some little classes for agents, just a small space that I can have a little lighting setup if they want to like do some reels and practice and stuff like that. And uh, we're working on coming up with some plans. We're really still ironing a lot of it out for some social media assistance for them. And I've got a couple people that I'm talking to, but again, it's like they're waiting till after the holidays to really get together and talk some more about what they really need. But
Hmm.
I'm increasing, like from our last episode, Ashley Reel mentioned wanting reels. So I've been practicing those the last couple listings, just kind of doing them on the side and giving them to them as a bonus right now as I get better at them.
Good for you.
Um, and so yeah, I'm going to do more social media content and potentially with Zach, which is what he's going to school for. He's going for his master's right now, is social media and marketing and business stuff. That he really wants to take on some social media, teaching as well as potentially management. So we're looking at adding that as an offering as well. So, you know, all that is stuff I'm just trying to absorb and, a space is an additional cost. It's a month to month, so it's not like I'm locked in for 2 years or anything, but going for it, you're
Great,
never going to
Neil.
get there if you don't go for it. So we're going
Yeah,
for it
good
and we're
for
just
you.
kind of ironing it all out. Like I just got some new lights came in the door for a basic setup that I can leave set up there and stuff like
Nice.
that. And so, yeah, it's exciting and terrifying.
That's so cool. I'm so proud of you. So
Yeah.
proud of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
So,
something about having your lights set up and ready to go, like having a recording space. So I've realized this, not to like take away from what you were saying, but
mm,
like I did a tip Tuesday this week and I've been watching this gal about, her name's Virginia Kerr, and she has a podcast, and she pops up on my Instagram all the time. She's great. She has like courses you can buy, and but she has so much free content. Like she's helping me so much with my videos, right? So I'm like
Hmm.
learning that I need to like trim them tighter so there's no pauses between the words, and anyways, all this stuff. So one thing she said is like have a designated space where your lights are set up and you can easily go and record, because if you have to set all your lights up every time, it's never going to happen. And that's
Mhm.
so true. In my house, we have 4 bedrooms, and my guest bedroom is a pretty big, it's a good size room. It's very long. It's kind of skinny, but it's long. So I've got half of it as my gym and the other half is a queen size bed. And I'm like, if I could get rid of that queen size bed, I could make that my little recording area and have lights up in there. But I'm like, we need a bed. So I have had my lights set up in my living room for 4 or 5 days now. And I've used them multiple times. I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just keep them up in my living room or out on my little sun deck. It's freezing, but and then I can just record little bits whenever I want. Like, who cares?
Yeah. No,
Right?
totally.
Yeah.
Well, and knowing your own brain and your own work ethic is another thing.
Mhm.
I struggle accomplishing things. This is my studio in my basement. Studio.
It
um,
looks legit. I love your setup. I'm in my
Thank you.
living room. It's
This
so
this
ghetto.
room, well, this no, it's not at all. But this room is a, I don't know, like 10 by 15 room.
Okay.
It's got the wall is, I could almost touch it with my hand behind me, and this table that I'm sitting at is like halfway into the room. So it's not a very big
Okay.
room. And then my computer, where I normally have my computer setup, is over here, and a separate setup over here. But it's not a big room, and right now it's just cluttered to the brim with all my miscellaneous gear from the years. But with distractions, I have a hard time focusing and getting things done. I can
Mhm.
distract myself, but also, when my daughter runs down a lot, and I just have a hard time getting back into it. And then also just not having the privacy. Sometimes you just need privacy to mess around, like to create content or something. If you want to video yourself and create content,
Mhm.
I have a hard time when I used to do stand up. I had a really hard time just being in a house where there's other people trying to work on my stand up. I kind of felt like I had to whisper while I did it. And so that's another thing that I really like, that having that office space that I can go there and shut the door and there's no distractions and just focus on work.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited about that. I don't think everybody needs that, and I don't recommend everybody go and have that monthly money that has to go out the window every month. But
Mhm.
if you can find a way that there's potential to make money there, and that's how I'm doing this, is that I think it makes sense to be able to meet, because I can't meet people at my house to kind of chat about, and I don't always want to have to go to a coffee place or their place. So I want to be able to meet them. This is kind of it has a shared space as well, where you can book conference rooms and stuff like that, but I have a private office that's mine. So we can use those spaces when we need to chat. And then there's a little setup for some basic stuff for me creating content for myself, but also hopefully for them. But we'll see. I don't know where it's going to go, but
That's so
I
nice.
think it's
That's so
all
cool.
positives. Yeah.
Yeah, good for
Yeah.
you, Neil. Good for you. I love that you're just
Yeah.
taking the
But I
risk.
love that. I love seeing that video. Yeah. And yeah. But I also know that I need to be, that's where this came from too. Sorry. I know that I have to have a challenge,
Mhm.
or I've just kind of been coasting a little too long. So
Mm.
I'm like, you got to put your foot out, you got to put your neck out a little further, so you'll keep going. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's
Yeah.
kind of, I've got no choice but to get going right quick here.
Mhm. Yeah. I know. I'm
You know?
feeling the crunch too. I'm creating this online course, and it's like I have so many ideas, like narrowing it down and just getting it to, I just need to create one part of it, and then I can sell one part, and then I can build the next part, and I can sell that part,
Yeah.
but it's like just trying to get it all out of my brain and down. It's a lot of
Yeah.
focus that has to
But
be
that's a
implemented.
smart point
Yeah.
about that too, is that definitely you can just take one chunk of it and get that completed well enough to get
Hmm.
it out there, and
Right.
then build on part B, and then that can be an upsell. Yeah, that's the way to do it, I think. Because
Yeah.
for a big project, I don't think I'd ever complete it. It would never happen.
Yeah.
If I was trying to do, like, I don't know, everything about photography,
Hmm.
it would never happen. But if I could just do portraits, a little thing about a kind of headshots
Yeah.
specifically,
Yeah.
then I,
Just
I
one
could
little
get
thing.
that done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I have a name for it.
Mm,
So excited. Well, it's an app.
what's
So
the
it's
name?
open book is the name of the app. And Jordan Powers
Yeah.
has the same open book club. And I had already bought the app, got the name, like ready to go. This was like
Yep.
last
Yep.
spring, right? And then I hear his
Yep.
announcement about his club, open book club, and I was like, no, what? Like, shit. I text Jordan. I'm like,
Jordan!
seriously? We have the same name. He's like, you can still use it. It's not open book club.
Right.
I'm like, you're right. I'm like, I don't know. So, anyways, it's called open book, but there's
Good.
courses within it. That's just the overall name. And then the courses within, I think I'm going to go with Fearlessly Social. So it's about how
Oh,
to
I
show
like that.
up on social media fearlessly, how to find your voice, how to really post authentically and be your true self on social media and attract your dream clients.
Cool.
And then the
Cool.
other section is like my simple steps to, or my, what is it called? My simple social system, how to post like a millennial. So, because all my clients are like, oh, these millennials, they just know how to post. They do it all the time and make it look so easy. I could never do that. And I'm like, oh, yes, you could. You just need a system. You just need to understand how it works, how often and where and what you should be posting. And I have a formula that I use that works great. And I
Yeah.
can miss a week or two and not be on social and I still have posts going out. That's like the bare minimum. But then when I have time or I'm in the mood, I can really ramp it up and, you know, hit that engagement and reach a lot of people. So
Yeah.
I want to
That
teach that
sounds
to other
great.
people.
And
Yeah.
I saw a little sneak peek. Rachel showed me a sneak peek of what the app looked like. Man, it looks awesome.
Thank
It
you.
looks legit. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that's
fun.
what I would expect from Rachel, but it is. I still was like, dang, that looks awesome.
Thank you.
So, yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
No,
Yeah,
very
we're
cool.
working on the colors because I think the pink might be a little much. We'll see. I don't know. I
Mm.
was going like hot pink and yellow, but just because I want it to be like fun and playful and I looked up the psychology behind the colors.
Hot pink's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Go for it.
I don't mind the hot pink.
Yeah.
What's that
Those
say
are the
about me?
things I get hung up on. I'm like, oh, is it too bright? Rachel, who cares? No one
Yeah.
cares. The
Yeah.
color. Yeah. So, anyways, it's fun. It's fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So lots of good stuff going on. We will be taking a few week break from the podcast just to kind of, take some time off. We've been cranking on this since I think February or March or April. I don't know when we started, but it's been
Yeah.
a good year. It's been fun. And yeah, we've
No,
got the
it's been fun.
consistency thing down now. We're posting pretty much every week. So we will
Yeah.
continue that. Maybe we'll pick back up on February 1st and get back to our normal schedule of posting every Thursday. And yeah, I just appreciate everyone that's been listening and tuning in and, commenting and asking questions and engaging with us. It's been really fun to meet more people in the industry. I think before I was kind of recapping this year, and I was like, wow, this year's crazy. Like I was a guest on I really had no engagement in the real estate photography world in the Facebook groups. I kind of had like a bad taste in my mouth for the Facebook groups because it wasn't very nice. I never went to PMRE because I didn't really know about it. Like I knew a couple of photographers, but not very many, and then this year I just like went from zero to crazy. Like
Yeah.
jumped right in. So yeah, the podcast and then started being a co-host on the masterplan.tv, which you can
Which
find on
is
YouTube.
also awesome. Oh my
So
gosh, it's
fun.
so cool, guys. You got to check
Yeah.
that out. It's so good. It's such a great show. The footage is amazing, and you guys are really fun on that. I love seeing you guys do these kind of challenges and stuff. It's you guys get to check out the master
It's a lot
plan.
of fun.
It's pretty cool.
It's a lot of fun. It's really cool. And then coming out with the course and like growing the team and I'm going to PMRE this year. Like so much has happened this year. It's crazy. So, I think being involved in this community helps to push you to new limits. Like now that I'm following a lot more real estate photographers on my page than I used to, I'm seeing what all these photographers are putting out, and it's incredible. There are so many talented photographers out there. Like I love it. Sometimes
yeah.
I get a little jealous. I'm like, gosh, I need to up my game.
Oh, me too. I know.
need
I
to
see.
do
I'm like,
more.
whoa, there's
I
some
know.
great photographers out there.
There
Yeah,
really
we all
are.
got it. We all got to keep it up. Keep going
Keeps you on
after
your
it.
toes. Keeps you on
Yeah,
your
totally.
toes.
That's
So
that's cool, man. Yeah, you're right. And during the lulls, it's easy to kind of just see right in front of you. But if you just stop and it's a good, Thanksgiving already happened, but it's a good time at the end of the year too to look back and just realize what you accomplished this year. And yeah, and I'm so excited to have the podcast with you. And I'm so, you know what? I love that my wife did a reel the other day where she did one of those, like, I forget what it's called, but the split screen mirroring, with somebody and you're just kind of like listening along as they say something, but the and I'm going to botch this, everybody, but
No.
basically what they're saying is like, you got to get your voice out there. You got to get out there. Like, so for everybody like us, myself included, I need to do more of the social stuff, and get in front of the camera, and our agents do too. But because it's something to the effect of, if you don't speak up, there's somebody that you're going to help, and if you don't speak up, that person isn't going to get that help. You might not help everybody, but what about the handful of people that might not ever have got that information or that little help or that little push that they needed?
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see, you know, as we're just kind of truckling on and growing slowly. And I love seeing that we're getting more people following and listening and stuff. And the comments, when people saw, just the other day, somebody said they were newer at this and they loved hearing what we had to say, and it was helpful to them. And they also loved that they could laugh as we're just being ridiculous. I was like, all right, cool. You know, we're doing something that's helping people, and I love that. That's
Yeah.
so cool. So
Yeah.
that by its even this podcast this year, what a cool thing. And I'm so excited to be a part of it, and to have, you know, taken the risk to reach out to Rachel to to end up doing this in the first place. I mean, so great. So guys, take a couple risks this year, and maybe start your own podcast and let us know what it is, and I would like to listen to it. And yeah, I don't know. I hope that everybody had a great year, and I hope that you all are going to have an even better year this year. And we hope that we see you commenting, and we hope we see your podcast or your YouTube channel or your content on Instagram. That's exciting.
Yes. Let's do it. Let's do a podcast on what it's like to start a podcast and keep it
Oh,
going, because that would be
yeah,
helpful. Because
yeah,
I know a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
people are thinking about it. I've had people ask
Cool.
me, so that'd be fun. That'd be
Oh,
fun.
cool. Yeah. If anybody has any questions about podcast stuff too, that would help us know what we should talk about. But yeah, we could totally do an episode on what it took to, you know, get rolling on this, and what tools and stuff like that, and gear and whatever. Yeah.
Just do it.
Let's do it. Well, awesome, everybody. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you all. And if we could just ask that if you liked any bit of this or found any bit helpful, or, you know, maybe you did a spit take at one point, then you've got to give us a positive rating on whatever you listen to your podcast on. Right. And Rach, we also want to get them over to check out our YouTube channel too, right?
Yes, hit that, smash that like button, subscribe. I gotta get better at that.
Smash it.
Yeah, smash it.
Yeah.
Anyways, like,
Check it out.
subscribe, whatever. Leave a comment. We would love to hear from
Shooting-
you guys.
Yeah, and
a
shooting
great
the
year.
shit with Rachael and Neal Young for the YouTube channel. The shit part is a money sign, a pound sign, an explanation, and a plus. So it's a little
Oh my
hard to
gosh.
find, but
That's not confusing at all.
if you
Just
can
type
find
in,
it,
just type in shooting the shit with Rachel, and you'll
Yeah.
find it. And Neal Young.
Search for Rachael Ann is probably a good way to get there, and we
Yeah.
really appreciate it though.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, happy
All right,
New
cool.
Year. Enjoy your time off, and
Happy
yeah,
New Year.
take
We'll see you
risks.
in 2023.
Woo.
Whoop, whoop. All right, take it
right.
easy, everybody.
Bye.